Hello and welcome to another of Sherwood Young Artists' favourite Easter crafts. So today we're going to be looking at making some yarn or wool Easter egg decorations. We made these last Easter and they were loads of fun, especially because you have a chance to get a little bit messy.
So what we'll need then is some balloons. So it is entirely up to you how big you blow your balloon up. When we did it at Sherwood Young Artists, we actually used water balloons because they gave a really nice egg shape. So if you've got some water balloons in your shed, then that is absolutely perfect. If not, normal balloons is fine, and then you blow them up to whatever size you want. Then what we also need is some wool. I've got some nice kind of spring colours here. I'd kind of say I've kind of cut these into metre lengths, and I think for a kind of balloon that size, 6 kind of metre lengths, maybe less, will be really good. Obviously the more wool that we put on, the stronger it will be when we get rid of the balloon. I've also mixed up some PVA here. I've mixed it up so I've added a little bit of water to it, so it's a bit like double cream really. We don't want it really strong, but we also don't want it too runny. If you haven't got PVA at home, you could use wallpaper paste or flour and water. However, at the moment, I think you're more likely to be able to get PVA from the supermarkets than you are flour. So we'll get started then. So my balloon wants to disappear. So the first thing we're going to do is get our strand of wool and we're going to poke it into the glue. There we go. It's quite a messy one, this one, but it's good. Okay, so poke it all in. Now, this is another important bit. When you kind of pull the wool out, if you use your finger and thumb and actually pull the wool through that, and I don't know whether you can see, I'm just getting all the excess wool off there. Not excess wool, excess PVA off the wool. Okay, so squeezing it all out. There we go. Let's move that to one side and then I can get my balloon. And this is just literally just start wrapping it around your balloon. So all over, making sure that each area is kind of covered. Keep twisting your balloon as you do it. Maybe tight when you get to a loose end, maybe just make sure that you kind of secure that loose end on top of another piece of wool rather than just openly on the balloon. And then I'll go for some yellow, I think. Same thing again. I'm lowering that wool into my PVA, pressing it all down. I'm doing this on a tray today. It may be good to have a protective surface underneath where you're doing it. Oops. Yeah, be careful when you put the wool in. Sometimes it will want to go into a little bit of a knot. So you can just undo that as you get all the glue out. Yeah, that's well and truly stuck there. Just break that up. Okay. Right then. Put this one on there. And wrapping it around. I'm going to go over some of the ones that you've done already. So messy. Okay, keep wrapping it around. Right, so that's 2 on there. I'm going to do a few more and then I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay, well I hope you're all suitably messy by now. There we go. So this is why it's a really, really good idea to cut the wool before you actually start. Otherwise, you don't want to be cutting wool with all gluey hands. And it may be good to actually cut an extra one, just in case. So I've actually already put 6 on, so this is my 7th one. I think, again, it will depend completely on how high you blow your balloon up. Now, we've just got to make sure that there's not any big gaps anywhere. Just make sure that, you know, just smallish gaps, so that when it all dries it will keep its shape. And now I've got all my wool on it. I'm just going to start using some glue. Again, slightly messy. And all those little edges where the wool started. I know there's a temptation to actually think, well, we'll just do it with one big piece of wool. Problem is, there, as you saw earlier, sometimes the wool all gets knotted in the glue and then it's just a big mess. So I'm just smoothing these down, so any of those small pieces, just, there we go, just sticking those in with a little bit of extra glue. And then we need to leave that to dry. So I'm just going to pop mine in a bowl. I suppose you could, if you wanted to, hang it on the washing line. I'm just going to sit mine in a bowl here. I have actually put a little bit of cling film in the bowl, just because when it's dry, you know, it might stick to the bottom of the bowl, but if it's just got some cling film, it's very easy then just to peel the cling film off it. So I'm just going to sit that in there. When this bit's all dry, you might want to lift it up and turn it around so the top bit can dry as well. And we'll just leave that to dry. And I think if it's a lovely sunny day like today, possibly still have to leave it overnight to dry. Don't be tempted to kind of take the balloon out too quickly, because if it's not really solid, as the balloon kind of deflates, the whole egg will contract on itself. So you should be able to kind of move the balloon and know that the egg is still really nice and solid. So definitely a good kind of 24 hours on a nice sunny windowsill. Welcome back. So we've left these to dry overnight, and you can see, if I've just moved the balloon, how hard and rigid some of these wool pieces are. And you really need to make sure before we do the next bit that these are, you know, they're holding their shape. I have gone round and I've just been trying to release the balloon a little bit from the glue, just so that when I burst it, it doesn't all collapse. I don't think we can do it all. I think it'll just be a question. Sorry, this isn't the nicest noise. Right then, I'm actually trying to put it off. Right, we've got to do it, haven't we? Right then. So I'll do this one first. Got the pin. Moment of truth. Oh. There we go. That wasn't the ginormous pop I was expecting there, thank goodness. There we go. As it's deflating, we can see there where it's stuck on certain bits. So we can just pull away our balloon. Phew! And then we'll just have to get that bit out in a minute. Somehow, I'm sure it's easy enough to do. We'll just use some scissors and actually cut that out, can't we? Okay, one. Are you ready? Oh, that's what I was expecting. Okay. Oh, phew. They've not collapsed on me. Right, so it is just going to be a little bit fiddly now, just peeling the balloon off and getting the balloon out. I'll just pull that out. And we can see we've got our solid kind of egg shapes. Right, I'm just going to carry on getting the balloons out, and then I'll show you how we can tie some nice ribbon to them. Oh, now we have our finished eggs, so you can either leave them like that and make a few of them and put them in a basket looking like eggs in the basket, or you could put some ribbon on the end of it and hang them up in your windows, in your bedrooms, just to make some really nice Easter decorations. So I've got some curling ribbon, but anything will do. Ribbon, wool, whatever you've got. I'm just going to fold it in half. And then just before the ends here, I'm just going to tie a knot. So I've got a nice loop there hang it up. Oops, sorry, to hang it up from. Ooh, steady it. And then obviously, I think I'm going to have it that way up because it's a bit more egg shaped. I'm just going to tie it together. Just do a very quick knot. And I'm going to curl my ribbons just to make it look a little prettier. Now an additional thing to this, but this will all depend on how wide your gaps are, because otherwise it'll be a bit like a plunk game, I guess. So there we go, so we can hang it up from there. Is you can actually fill your egg, you can see that, with lots of other little chocolate eggs that are just kind of suspended in there. Oh, there we go, it did find a hole. Hang on. If I hold it upright, it's fine. Maybe some baby chicks. I don't know. Put it up. But again, as I said, it's a bit like a plunk. If your holes are too big, the eggs will just fall out. So that's our little string Easter eggs. So we've got 2 of those there. And we can just hang those up somewhere and make a really lovely Easter decoration. Have fun with that, and I'll post another video tomorrow. Bye!